Hi, CJ Schmidt, CEO of HIT. Um, Michelle and I are getting good at this together.
We
Uh,
are.
um, Excited for what you're about to hear in this upcoming partnership between my friend Jeff below. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
First,
CJ. And I, of course, am Michelle Bell, the Senior Vice President of ASI's editorial arm. And I am here, obviously, with CJ, who I've interviewed many, many times. And for the first time that I've interviewed, Jeff Roberts, the CEO of iClick, or as I call him, Jeffrey. Jeff,
right.
welcome.
Thank you. First time listener, first time caller, long time listener. I already screwed that part up.
Yeah,
Happy to be here. Excited to be here.
Thank you guys. Well, thank you for making time. And I don't do many of these anymore because I have a really good team to do them, but I was really excited about this news because I was there, I think, in a cursory way in Boston when all of this went down. So, um, can you guys give us a little background on your news and how it came about? So, CJ, let's start with you.
sure. I was having a drink with Dave Saraceno, and so now you know where the event is at and who it was. And overlooking beautiful Fenway Park, first time I've ever been, so I was really taking it in, and big baseball fan. I get a tap on my shoulder, and he says, "Can I introduce you to Jeff, who I've known and admired from afar?" Said, "Sure, let's chat." And from there, I'll let Jeff kind of allude to what we are planning to do here. So
Yeah,
Why do
that's
I feel like every story starts with I had a drink with Dave Saraceno? I feel like more often than not in our industry, many stories start that way.
he's a good MC.
Yes, he is. Jeff, you can take it from there, please.
yeah, first time at Fenway Park for me as well. I was there with Rachel Hare, our VP of strategy, and I actually didn't know that part of the IPU event was going to take us to Fenway Park until we got there. So I was excited about that, but we were talking, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me that CJ's in Florida, and I thought that's strategically located just like Seattle is to cover America. We should probably go talk and see how we might have the potential to partner together. So it was just a quick, let's go do this, and it was almost obvious at first when we started talking.
Sure.
And was it more than just geography? Was it, Jeff, that you had identified CJ hit the way they go to business, their product mix? What was it about, other than being in Florida, what was it about CJ and Hit?
I'll say it's transformed or morphed a little bit since the first conversation. Selfishly, the first conversation was we've got tremendous production facilities in Seattle, and we have capacity right now that we're not leveraging. So I thought shipping batteries to the West Coast is a challenge, and so from a timeline, we could leverage our capacity and then potentially help hit with faster shipping and cheaper shipping for power banks. With that said, I didn't know exactly how HIT would want to take advantage of us or if it would be an option, but I knew our capacity was there, so it was worth bringing up.
Gotcha. CJ, how about from your standpoint?
Yeah, again, admired from afar, and I want to say about 10 years ago, we almost got into this partnership with a previous leader of iClick, and just didn't come to fruition. Yeah, I thought I was definitely open to entertaining it, and we buy from similar suppliers overseas. So it's almost not almost, it is the exact same product in many cases. So it wouldn't be really hard for us to just transfer orders that are shipping to the West Coast, reduce transit time, can't ship power banks via air in almost 99 out of 100 cases these days due to hazmat
Sure.
issues. So yeah, this makes a lot of sense, and with the challenges of inventory on things coming from China and other parts of Asia right now, this helps kind of both of us manage our inventory levels. In addition, if they have orders that are shipping on the East Coast that they need help with, we'll acquiesce there too. So it kind of helps both ways. As you know, we have a pretty robust IT system, IT staff, and whatnot. So this is very easy for us to interchange information back and forth. Quite frankly, a lot of the partners that we deal with that are other suppliers and we work with on their behalf don't have that, and that's okay. We've learned to work around that, but this one was super easy, and this is a matter of a couple weeks, and here we are ready to rock and roll. So this is great.
It's kind of amazing how quickly you guys pulled this together. I mean, the three of us were just in Boston less than a month ago. Most strategic partnerships kind of move at a glacial pace to come together. So you guys did this at hyperspeed. Jeff, which products you mentioned power banks? Are there any other products involved in this strategic partnership?
Yeah, I'll say also like the first conversation on the deck at Fenway was about us doing power. At dinner immediately afterwards, Rachel and I started thinking about how amazing HIT is and their presence and how much we admire what CJ's built and the sales force they have. And a lot of our unique products, the challenge with them is when you see them at a glance, you have no clue what they do or what they are, and getting them in front of people is critical. And so, I mean, it was that night we started thinking about the items that are exclusive to us and how they could put fuel on the fire and bring a bigger awareness to the industry. So, just our pop sockets, which people know us for
Of
originally,
course.
the MagSafe compatible version, the MagSafe accessibility of your phone now is just tremendous. And so the MagSafe pop socket, we launched it 4 years ago, and I still think 1 in 20 people know what it is. And I think that's an awareness thing that HIT will bring to the table. The other side is our Everless Smart Bag, our new collapsible bottle, which has risen to the top of our charts for selling, which I've never seen anything do this quickly. And then the Casely products that we sell, I think the Casely UL Power Pod, the 5,000 mAh is best in class for that size. It just feels so good. And then the Grippy. So starting with that, and I'd like to just keep expanding as we go. I think
Sure.
as the trade kerfuffle created quite a bit of challenges for us internally, and that's all kind of settled down. So I thought CJ and I started talking, 4 weeks ago, but our internal teams learned about this 10 days ago, and we figured let's see how much we can put their hair on fire to get this launched by next Monday. And it's amazing because I think both teams have knocked it out of the park to move this quickly.
No doubt.
That's great. And CJ, talk to me. I mean, you and I have been in the industry for a long, long time to see what are the value of these types of partnerships? Because in the past, I think, companies would have just acquired one another or something like that. But this seems to me to be a real shift over the past few years of suppliers who were formerly competitors really kind of leveraging each other's strengths in ways that weren't there. So what's your take on that as far as why this has grown in our
Yeah,
industry?
as we grow, and I will never compare myself to an Amazon, but we're gonna be in that realm where we're carrying a little bit of everything. I mentioned our IT prowess and whatnot. We're doing things really well right now, and our technology, our integration with our core customers enable us to do things that certain others are not able to do. And Jeff nailed it on the head. We have a ton of sales folks out there. I want to say 55 now that are out making calls and Teams calls or live in person calls or whatever it may be. And the more the merrier. The more they have to offer, the better for them. It enables us, these situations enable us to be a little bit more dynamic. Again, we don't really have a giant West Coast program. We have a
Hmm.
warehouse that we utilize for custom orders that basically receives the containers in and breaks them down when we do a custom order. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of where we're at, and it's worked very, very well for us. Like not too much paperwork involved. Art's processed pretty quickly. Orders are processed within a day, so we're not losing any time there. And I gain 5 days in transit as opposed to
That's
shipping from
great.
Florida, Seattle, or Florida to Northern California, Idaho, etc.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about the industry kind of overarchingly for a minute, because I'd love to get your take, the two of you, CEOs of two of the most prominent suppliers in the industry. How do you think things are right now in the industry? I know, based on the numbers that we have, Q1, the industry was down 3.6%, Q2, down 3.2%. It seems to me that Q3, has a little bit of momentum behind it as opposed to Q1 and Q2. What would you guys say about that?
Go ahead if you'd like, or I can
Jeff?
start. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we started out just from our standpoint, the knowledge that I have, I'll just focus on what iClick sees internally. The first quarter we were growing every month, and it was really strong in mobile accessories and mobile power. I think our category is a good category for people who are looking for something that ends up on somebody's Bing for a long period of time, as opposed to into their hands and then potentially not seen again. So that was helpful. The trade challenge made a huge dip for us. And the first half of the year was down and a challenge. I think that the second half's going to be really strong, particularly the third quarter. July started slow, but was growing and finished out solid. I think that's going to continue. I will say that I'm calling 2025 the year of uncertainty. So predicting anything is a big challenge. So I don't put a lot of weight behind my prediction outside of I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
Gotcha. CJ, how about you? Again, you and I have seen, over the years for a myriad of reasons, ups, downs, ups, downs. So you and I talked in the beginning of the year. How is it looking right now, do you think, for HIT?
Our traditional day-to-day business is probably down 5%. Our import business, our direct import business, way up. Our print on demand business doing very, very well. So that we're up about 2% as a company for the year because of those. But if we were just running traditional HIT like we had back in the day, where we import from China, or Southeast Asia, keep the product here, print it on the distributor's behalf, etc., I would realistically say down 5%, and I think our industry is between 5 and 10, realistically.
I do too.
Yeah.
How do you think given the first half of the year and now that we're going into holiday season, how do you think we'll end for the year? Down, up, flat?
Trending up. There's a level of certainty that's happening. There's a new announcement each day about what country's being tariffed or what, and that certainly doesn't help the equation. There's a lot of ambiguity. But as I've told you many times, a lot of us suppliers have multiple tentacles in different locations,
Sure.
So we can react a little bit quicker. So yeah, we're pretty happy about that. We've kind of leveled out on our inventory positions, and they're starting to get back in a good spot. I know a lot of our world struggled, and not just us, the United States in general. But yeah, I think we're going to be in a prominent position to have a slower growth in Q3, Q4, and really positive for 2026.
That's great. I think so too, by the way. So I was looking at the product pie chart in our State of the Industry data that we just announced. So this is based on 2024 sales. And I was fascinated to see, CJ, the last time you and I talked, you were the person of the year and I interviewed you. Drinkware was still on an upswing. This is the first time drinkware has ticked down, but 3 categories that caught my eye that trended up. Again, this is 2024, so before the tariff would have been announced. Outerwear, writing instruments, and electronics. All the electronics. So Jeff, I'd love your thoughts on that. Are you seeing that continue to grow?
Yeah, I mean, that's the part that's so crazy. We were up, just mobile accessories, which contains a lot of our electronics, was up 33% year over year through the first quarter. Our mobile power was up 22% year over year through the first quarter. Running out of things to sell during the second quarter just completely hampered our ability to stay on that trajectory. So I didn't expect the trade issue to last 5 to 6 weeks before they resolved, basically halting everything. I thought it would shake out in 2 weeks. So we didn't beef up a lot of our inventory in the first quarter. I just, because I didn't expect it to last as long as it was. Another great prediction on my part. Since that, and not knowing what's going to happen with August 12th, we went deep on all of our stock to try to get us through the end of the year in case the carpet gets ripped out from underneath us again, because I don't want to put our team through what we all just went through. So I do think that trend will just pick up and continue, and inventory has been the biggest challenge there. Not generating sales, it's having the stock to fulfill it. So yeah. I feel very bullish about that for our future.
CJ, you've got a lot of people overseas and really talented merchandisers and sourcers. What are you seeing for product trends, that perhaps for the second half of the year in 2026?
Okay, yeah. So we did and I'm going to speak to another company right now. We did a launch with Cutter and Buck recently, which has been great too. And we're basing that on some upscale travel trends. So that's what we're really focused on. And this works in Jeff's world too here now. We're upgrading the things that we have, right? So he brought up MagSafe. We're used to selling the basic stick-on silicone cell phone holder that we do fairly well with, and if there's a budget for that, great. But that is really trending highly right now. Upgrade of, let's say you're using a 5-watt power bank versus now, or I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the word. Where you just lay your phone on it. Why am I
charging?
QA charge. Jeez Louise. QI charge. Sorry. So from a 5 watt upwards to a 20 watt in that now, right? So that those continue to trend in the right way, moving from a USB-C, USB-A to USB-C, things of that nature. So that's really propelling this stuff.
Hmm.
Those companies that really care about that type of stuff are upgrading their product accordingly, or at least I hope so for their programs or any one-time ad hoc giveaway. Outside of that, it's not, I think the world's already adapted the sustainability message, right? We talked about that last year where there was not a lot of creativity that we saw because of that, right? They're taking the
Yeah.
existing product and now making it out of some sort of recycled material. That's become mature. So we don't have to worry about that. There also was not a ton of innovation when we went over there in April for a couple weeks because everyone is kind of reluctant to develop something if we're not, and they don't have a facility outside of China, right? So
Sure.
um, just kind of what I just said, the basic stuff of upgrading power and maybe some bags and whatnot
Hmm.
to be able to be with the trends and what some of the youth and college students are doing right now.
If I
Yeah,
were to go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to add just some more flavor to that. I would say it's interesting. This is the first year. So, like our plant-based pop socket, which is the eco-friendly version, is up 43% year over year. And then our MagSafe line, which is something I've been pushing hard forever and making very little noise in the industry. But, we went from 9 SKUs to 16 SKUs that are MagSafe compatible this year. And we're up 7x over last year on MagSafe sales. So the back of
Wow.
the phone has just become an awesome spot for so many
Hmm.
different accessories, taking advantage of the MagSafe compatibility, and I think that's going to continue to grow big time.
And I'll add to that, right? So we travel a lot, right? So I put my hotel key in the back of the silicon version.
Hmm.
You can only fit 2 in there, and that's great. Now you can do that, but then take it off, put it somewhere else if you don't need it, and charge your phone. And you could also now charge your watch, and you can
Yep.
also now do all these other different functions with that, right? So it's a very unique opportunity here, and we want to strike while the iron's hot.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you two guys right now, what is the biggest market disruption slash opportunity that you're seeing for promo? CJ, you mentioned print on demand. Like what's got you guys excited about future opportunities, future disruptions? And I don't mean in a bad way. I always look at disruptions on the upside. There's a good thing with that, right? So
Yeah.
what would you say is the one thing you're most excited about to propel the industry, your companies forward? Jeff.
I think disruptions are they're always hard to see coming, or they're hard to take initially, but they really just create an awesome challenge for teams to get better and stronger and think harder about the business and how to do things better. And it really makes you look more internally when you can't control the outside on how do I improve what I do, and how do I train our employees better and create better systems to come out on the other side stronger. So we haven't had a lot of disruptions. Well, I guess COVID was 5 years ago. That already feels like a long, long time ago. But
Yes, it does.
um, but outside of that, this industry hasn't seen a disruption for a long time that was as impactful as I think the trade disruption was to us.
Yeah.
We tend to idle at the status quo in this industry. So, CJ, I specifically said print on demand because that seems to me that that's having an impact across the board in promo. What would you say?
It's massive. We also have a fulfillment business, so we get to see a lot of different variables within that. A lot of the distributors programs that we're handling are shrinking their footprint and moving to a more on-demand type process, so you don't have to have all that cash tied up with inventory. You can be dynamic if you're doing logo changes or upgrading your logo or whatnot or changing it. You can do that very dynamically. I spend 80% of my time on fulfillment and print on demand and improving
Interesting.
processes. Um, not that I want to say like we're perfect here at HIT. We have our challenges, but it's more on rails than our fulfillment and print on demand operation, and that we've seen significant growth on triple digit growth. Right, it's been fantastic. Kind of feel like I've been starting HIT all over again 12 years ago when I took it over. Right, so yeah, that's the game changer. I will say that we there's a lot of talk and speculation around hard goods and print on demand. It sounds good. It sounds sexy. Not too many people are doing it well. We have a handful of customers that are really into it, and that all depends on how integrated you are within a whether it's us or another fulfillment center's operation
Hmm.
systems. It's super dependent on that, and you can't charge that much more, right? We found that. Oh yeah, we'll buy one for $50 when we normally charge you five. That's just not reality.
Sure.
So it's still a heavy apparel driven category,
Hmm.
but we're seeing a little momentum on the hard goods, and
Interesting.
this is another intriguing part of Jeff and our partnership here is that we both can print digitally quickly one at a time and have artwork packages that enable us to do variable logos on some of the smaller products to take advantage of kind of like a one run operation type deal. Um, so I hope that this trends in the right direction, and that's what we want to do. It's going okay, but I think there's a lot more to it. And yeah, the POD world is really special and something that we're intrigued with and investing heavily in.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank
We
you.
uh we actually this year started doing MOQ1 for program business. If we're integrated, we'll do it at EQP pricing. If we're not integrated on the back end, it's column two pricing. And we're really looking at as it's the future. Variable printing is another thing that we're kicking off and excited to bring to the industry because I think the personalization is going to go a long ways. And I mean, it was in your state of the industry, so I'm not saying anything that you don't know, but knowing how to do it well is something that we're
Sure.
going to master quickly. The print on demand side, like CJ said, as a hard goods supplier, I don't know of others that are making the offer that we are. Building the awareness around it is the challenge that our team has, and again, another thing that HIT can put on fire for us with their sales force. But we see it as something that we'll get really good at. So we might not make a lot of money on the unit one purchases, but the spot buys that will come out of the awareness, I think will more than offset the challenges of offering one piece at a low price point. And again, a lot of people don't want to buy just one piece, but when they need to, they can do it.
Sure. Sure. And I think a lot of it's driven by younger buyers and the way that they buy. You mentioned personalization, Jeff. I mean, that's huge with young buyers. They love that uniqueness and something that resonates with just them, and personalization can do that. Any final words from you guys, either on the industry writ large, the partnership, which is super exciting, the rest of the year? I look forward to seeing you both, I believe, at the Power Summit in October.
Yep,
So,
definitely.
any final words on the industry?
It's again with the POD world, it's fun for a lot of us. Again, it's different, it's unique, and it does give you the ability to totally brand yourself as an individual, which is kind of cool. No, this partnerships we're really looking forward to it. It's awesome, and I think it's gonna be a nice year, and looking forward to getting asked some tough questions on the panel out there in October.
You and Terry McGuire. Our
Let's
friend
go.
Terry's going to be on the panel with you.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that.
Jeff, for you, last words?
Oh yeah, no, this partnership is exciting. It's the beginning of something much bigger down the road, and I can't wait to drive forward and see it all go live on Monday.
Well, great. Thank you guys for your time. And I'll see you both soon. And congratulations.